LA hard rock kind of sound. But it was a great mix. How did that work out? And was it difficult for you to present that music and to get gigs at the time?
Um, it had its moments where we always had to kind of like be a little bit political, and play that political game to and win people over because they didn't quite know who we were personally, and our music was different. I mean, off the bat they go like, "Okay, so what do you guys do, Motown?" And of course we crank it up, and it's like, "Oh." So I mean, we had to kind of maneuver our way around at first. But once people started really listening to what we were doing, and they got to know us as people, it got easier and easier, And our sound was going to be funky with Stelling on bass, but it wasn't even half as funky as if we could have been, because we made a point to make us. We want to make a point that we were a hard rock band. I mean, we were a hard hitting band. And we didn't want to be too funky because we didn't want to fall into that funk rock mode, So we had to make it to where you felt, if especially musicians knew, it was like it had a groove to it. Everything we did had a groove. So that was the staple, And then with melody and my lyrics, and Tracy's guitar playing, and of course the first album we did a lot of things in 7/4. We did things in 5/4. We constantly were dropping beats. A song called Second Thoughts it's in 11. I mean, so we were very progressive with the music in that sense, but yet we twisted it like with the beats, but we kept it with a groove. So that was our first, I think, our signature after we really got going.
You did a cool version of Born to Be Wild as well.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, the second album, Born to Be Wild, that's right. Yeah, and we were dropping beats at the end of that song. We ended up saying, hey, let's change it up at the very end, so that was a fun.
Born to Rock album?
That's the Born to Rock album.
Right on, man.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
So you had that album, Jan, back in the day?
I bought both the albums when they came out, and I totally loved the Total Eclipse album as well.
And that was an underrated band. You just took it one step further with Total Eclipse. You got Victor in and Dre on bass. And you kind of, I wouldn't say funkified it more, but it was actually a very, very heavy record. And it's unfortunate, the label at the time, I think, what was it? It was through Taboo, right?
Right, it was Taboo, a small boutique company, but a big-time guy was behind it. I mean, he's been in business forever. A guy named Clarence Avant, who was Quincy Jones' best friend. He was behind that label, and he had distribution with A&M. So, of course you think you're going to get good marketing, and we did a video, and they played it on MTV once or twice, but we didn't have the push for, magazine marketing, we didn't have the push for touring dollars, all that has to be put in place, and that definitely was the downfall of that, so. But the music, like we said, we did the music, we did our part, and I listened back to it, and I think we did a pretty good job on it.
Oh, absolutely. Killer album, man.
Thank you.
But it's funny, it's just the way they sometimes market it and the media goes about it. I mean, I remember when Living Color came out, it was almost like marketed as a novelty thing, like, and of course you guys came out a good 8 to 10 years before in Living Color. I'm in Living Color, and really never got the respect. But I remember when that first album, Cult of Personality hit, became a big thing on MTV, and it almost became this novelty, an all-black heavy metal band. It wasn't just the fact that these guys are a fucking great band, and they play great music, so it just kind of seemed like they just pushed it to the hilt, and then after that album, the novelty kind of wore off to the media, and then, their second album, Time's Up, which I thought was fantastic, it seems like they just didn't really do anything. There's really no push.
Right, I don't get that, but most time it falls on the companies. Those companies were big then, now it's different for marketing and distribution now. It's a lot different climate now. But back then, they had control of everything. And I remember our first meeting at MCA, they looked at us and said, how should we market you? And we laughed. We were like, as a rock band? I don't know, maybe.
They're asking you.
Yeah, so the people that run the businesses during that period, they were the skeptical ones. The people on the street, they just dug good music. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
so
Well,
so so that's it.
yeah, I know. MCA was never were able to break a good hard rock band back in the day. So that was always a problem with them. And Roy, you kind of went through something similar with, I know, Tribe Sound with Polygram very early on, and it was definitely, you definitely heard that cultural Latino sound in Tribe of Gypsies music. I don't even believe that first album was originally released here in the States, was it? It was only released in Japan. Is that right, Roy?
That's right. The typical story. The people that signed us all got the boot, and the new people that came in, they said, "We don't know what to do with you. Are you Latin rock? Are you rock? What are you? We don't know where to put you." And at the end of the day, they said, "We'll put out your record, but we're not going to put much in the promotion." So we just said, "Forget about it. We want out." And after a couple of years of litigation, we finally got our music, but by then, the whole vibe and buzz was gone, and just being in court for a couple of years, and yeah, it's a shame, when you bring something slightly new back then, when you brought it, and if it didn't fit into their pigeonholes, it's like they didn't know what to do.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And that was a great album. You've done, 3 albums now with Tribes?
We're working on our 6th release.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, right now with the current market, it's like we're not too eager to